Hello, everybody, and welcome to our latest episode of Her Digital Empire. I am Erika Belvin. I am the founder and owner of Her Digital Empire, Bossway Digital Lab, and just all things graphic design. I have here with me Tashana Sprattling, and she'll be speaking with me today. But before we get into that, really quickly, if you have a second, please make sure that you subscribe to us on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, all of it. Just go find us and follow us. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star review, okay? It really helps us out. So, that being said, let's get into it. I have Tashana here. I'm going to go ahead and read her intro. So Tashana is the founder and owner of Cosmic Aura Creative. It's a creative agency that serves the natural holistic community through graphic design and brand design services. Tashana is a 26-year-old vegan and naturalista herself. I hope I said that right. So the idea of wanting to serve this community wasn't far-fetched at all. Cosmic Aura Creative renders logo designs, social media refreshes, flyer designs, and is expanding to offer website creation services very soon. Okay, so hey, how's it going, Tashana?
Good. What about you?
Super good. I'm happy to have you on.
Yes.
Because, well, one, I helped you put together your entire company.
Yes.
And so I'm super excited to talk about that. That being said, I know we wanted to talk about one of the things that you're really passionate about, which is the importance of mental health. And one of the things that even you, getting started in graphic design and stuff have even struggled with, right? I know I have, with like juggling a full-time job, while pursuing graphic design, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so tell us about that.
So like you said, juggling a full-time job. So right now I am a business technology analyst for a large consulting and finance firm. So it's very corporate America-ish. So, it's a very demanding and dynamic work environment. So, with that being said, just trying to juggle that with my more creative side of getting into, graphic design and brand design and ultimately marketing. It can be a bit of a struggle sometimes. It can be very difficult, mainly because like my full-time job, I work like, a regular 8 to 6 or 7 at night kind of thing, Monday through Friday. And then, I have to make sure that I have the right mental state so that I can, have that discipline to make myself work on my dream goal, which is, having this graphic design business after that. And then, of course, on the weekends as well. So, for me, it just, it's just like taking baths, lighting candles. I'm a vegan, of course. So, I find like one of my favorite juices in the fridge and I drink that and I go sit outside and swing on my swing that I have on my porch. And sometimes I walk around the neighborhood because I just bought a house, last year. So I'm still like a new homeowner kind of. So,
that's so cool.
So, just trying to incorporate those daily things, whether it's, professional development, videos. I know one that you recommended to me was one of the Tony Robbins ones. So, that really helped and gave me like a lot of motivation and feeding power and great words that I can use to get through the day when I am frustrated. I just try to do that, when I feel myself getting overwhelmed or frustrated with work, and anything like that. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, everybody deals with this, at all stages, even at my level. It's like, what do I do? Do I focus on going and getting my hair done and relaxing, or do I have 100 other things to do? It's at every stage. I think mental health and self-care is necessary and needed. And because it's funny, like I have been one of those people who I go till I burn out, and I have to train myself to do the things that we were talking about, like going and sitting and just like, for me, it's the ocean. I love going to the ocean. So I'll go and I'll find my spot out here in San Diego. It's called Bird Rock, and just watch the waves. And that's for me, like my thing. And I think that the goal really, and I've always said balance is overrated, but it can't be so overrated to the point where you're, going and going and going and burning out. And because it's kind of one of those things where you try and do everything and nothing gets done. You know,
Sure.
I mean, is that your experience?
Yeah, that has been my experience, because I am, like a new, I guess you could say, brand owner, business owner, in the graphic design industry. So,
Yeah.
even with me sometimes where I, still trying to figure out how to design certain logos, and I'll like take on the task of like, okay, well, let me figure out how to do it from scratch all the way in Illustrator versus, just trying to pace myself and start somewhere and then, perfecting it as I go along. That way I don't overwhelm myself with, okay, well, on the very first try, it has to be 100% done in Illustrator the right way kind of thing. So I'm still learning that.
Absolutely. So what do you feel like has been like the number one thing that's helped you kind of, for other people who are struggling with this right now, like what would you say was the thing that you focused on and you were like, okay, that's what got me kind of centered again?
Mm-hmm. I think it was reverting back to my spirituality. So like I mentioned, taking baths again, like starting all of those cycles back again, because that's what, gives me good energy and calm energy, and it relaxes me when I do find myself being overwhelmed or frustrated. So like I said, taking baths and just, or even listening to music while I work. Sometimes I have to have like a slight distraction. If it's too quiet, I notice like if it's too quiet, that kind of bothers me because I'm like, okay, I wish I had something else that could calm me down. I don't know, that's weird, but yeah. So yeah, between baths, music, and then sometimes even when I listen to music, I get up and actually dance. And it's interesting because like I used to be a dancer like all of middle school, all of high school, and then like my first 2 years of college. So like sometimes I remember like the actual hip hop or ballet choreography dances, and like I just redo them, and then that helps to get my mood up. I like scream the music if it's like my favorite song kind of thing. So different things like that. I would have to say like just getting back to my spirituality. Even so, like starting back to exercise and do yoga also, like just really like trying to calm my mind the best way that I can. So
yoga's great. I love hot yoga.
I actually don't.
But that's like, you never tried that?
I've tried hot yoga twice, and like I guess between me being like claustrophobic and like I don't like being hot all the time, yeah, it's very interesting. I'd rather be like in a regular setting with not like a hot kind of tempered room, but yeah, I have tried it.
I think for me, I liked it because I felt like a superhero. Like you can do all these weird things like handstands and stuff that you can't normally do.
Yeah.
And it also feels like you're like toxins are like being like sucked out of you, but I mean, I haven't been able to do it since COVID. So, because that's probably not a good idea to be, in a room and like a super hot room with other people. But yeah, no, I totally get that. It's like I said, for me right now, it's the ocean that's really like, and just like walking, exercising, things like that really kind of help me stay grounded during all of that stress. So, talk to me about like getting going as a designer and stuff, because I know we have so many people who probably are checking us out because they haven't started yet. Tell me about how you kind of figured out basically what you wanted to do, like this I know we went through this a lot together, but tell me about like how you did it yourself and found the niche that you did and connected with it.
Okay, yeah. So I think, well, for me personally, I think finding my niche wasn't that hard. Only because like my niche aligns with my current interests. So like I said, I'm a vegan. I have, natural hair, natural locks. I have, natural painted nails. They're not like acrylic or anything like that. And it's no shades of acrylic. I used to have, wear acrylic. It's just, I guess like transforming into a different side of me. So yeah, just anything, natural or holistic, in those areas. It's like, okay, well, I'm already a customer in those industries and companies. So it's like, okay, well, why not try to help them better serve me and other people? So I guess like, that's kind of how I went with, choosing that niche and wanting to help them with graphic design and brand design.
It's a fun niche. Like crystals and, the colors and all the pretty, like the watercolor and stuff. I think it's a great niche to be in. So really you kind of connected with what you were passionate about, right? And found those people. That's really great. So let's talk a little bit about, how you got started and stuff. I know you wanted to talk about like some of the apps and things that helped you kind of get started while you're learning how to really, figure out the Adobe suite and everything.
Yeah. So yeah, I am a baby designer, brand new designer. So I guess like when I first started, experimenting with design and trying to figure things out for myself. Of course, I was, utilizing YouTube to the best of my abilities. And so like from there were a lot of artists and I guess you can say mentors who would recommend the Adobe suite. So, mainly Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop, when it comes to graphic design. So for me, going straight to Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator was like a little bit difficult because I don't know, to me, it's just like, I guess like the functionality is so complex and I don't know, for me, it's just easy for me to get flustered because I'm like, oh my gosh, this one thing seems like it has 30 million different things that it can do. And if you do one thing, you mess up the whole thing. So I guess like, when I found Canva, I was like, oh wow, okay, this is like a lot more streamlined. It's like user friendly. It's like, mad easy. So, I still use Illustrator for like if I do custom logos, and of course logos in general. But yeah, like for my brand templates for my clients or even for myself, things like that. I'm like going to Canva for that. So I think it was like it just served as like an easier place for me to learn and like, experiment and expand and get better in first. Versus like just staying frustrated in Illustrator alone. It's like, okay, well, I can start here. Eventually I'll get to the point where, I can be like some of my fellow designers or some of my mentor designers that I look up to, where they're just crushing stuff in Illustrator and Photoshop. But I'm not there yet. So I just try to be realistic and gentle with myself and say, okay, I can start with Canva. There's nothing wrong with Canva, for certain things. So I guess it's just helped me to get there in my comfort zone with Canva. So.
Well, Canva's really hot right now because the girls who, like me, who use Adobe Suite, we're having to go back and, figure out Canva and master it because everybody wants to do it right now. And everybody wants editable templates in Canva. So it's a great way to jump in while you're learning. I'm a big believer in, getting paid to learn, meaning, you take on that project and then you figure it out. And so that's exactly, that's just perfect. That's a great way to get going when you first started your business. I talk to so many girls on a day-to-day basis and they all think, well, I need to wait until I'm good. And it's a backwards mentality compared to what you've done. And, you implementing, learning and creating things for other clients while you are learning yourself. And so, so aside from Canva, is there any other apps that you're using that have helped you?
Well, for like my resources, I guess like I use, Creative Market, sometimes Etsy when like I purchase, different elements that I can use.
Resources.
Yeah. So like, if for whatever reason it takes me like, I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour and a half of frustration trying to figure out how to design an element from scratch in Illustrator, I'll go to Etsy or Creative Market and I'll find like a bundle package of, another designer who, for one, designs the same kind of designs that I kind of want to design also, so that, it's still not looking for scratch work. And so, I just go to their page, whether it's on Creative Market or Etsy, and like find their bundle packages and see like what kind of elements they have, and things like that. And then, of course, purchase it, download it, and then I'll start, like experimenting and saying, okay, well, I want to use this element out of this one, and I want to use this element, and then I'll create like, a totally different logo from that, and so that actually doesn't take me as long, which is a good thing, versus an Illustrator. I would still probably be on like the first element trying to create it the right way, and then I would probably give up. So I would say creative marketing and Etsy resources have definitely helped. So those are some other, I guess, like websites or applications that I use too.
That's great. That's great. And so, so let's talk a little bit about like your experience with coaching since, I've been coaching you in her digital design mastery. So, tell me what it's been like, starting first of all, you had a previous coach, correct? So you tried this once before and it didn't go your way. So tell me how it was for your first experience, and then tell me how it's been so far with you and how it helped you kind of get your business going.
Okay, yeah, sure. So like, of course, we'll stay professional. But like, yeah, my first coach, I think I found her, actually it's pretty interesting, but I'll keep it short. So like this lady, she was on LinkedIn and she was doing like free profile audits. And so I was like, okay, hey, I'm interested. So she did a free profile audit for me. And in that audit, she kind of, saw where my vision was as far as like having a graphic design business. And so she was like, hey, I have a coach that, I think can help you go further. And so that was that coach. And so, long story short, it was only like 6 weeks with the coach, but like, I just felt like, she wanted to scale me right out the gate versus, helping me understand and develop my craft first. And so, it was a bit difficult, I guess, because like trying to get clients was like a different way than I had never done it before, but like, I don't know, it just wasn't, I guess like making sense to me, the way that she positioned the strategy to like go get clients as far as like messaging them cold messages, and then like having like these, in my opinion, expensive brand packages like straight out the gate. So yeah, it was and I didn't have any kind of success whatsoever with her, unfortunately, as far as like financially or like having like an actual brand that people knew about and followed on social media. Did
she have you do like, did she have you learn how to design as well, or was she just teaching you the business?
I think, it was mainly the business, because I was going on YouTube like solely on YouTube to learn how to design. It was just like, okay, can you design this and can you design that kind of thing? Versus like showing me like, oh, you can go here to get this or you can go here to get this. It was just like I was kind of figuring out everything on my own. Or at least is how I felt. So yeah. But yeah, and then, when I met you, I was just like, especially when I ran across your page, I was like, ooh, I see colors. Like, especially on her page, it wasn't, like that. I don't know. I like to say the phrase, like, it didn't jump out at me or make me scream kind of thing. Like, it didn't scream at me, whereas yours did. Like, your whole, brand screamed at me. So I was like, okay, yeah, I need to hit her up. And, like when I looked at your website and I saw like all of your services and everything, I was like, see, this is all I was asking. Like, I just wanted someone that was going to, teach me the graphic design, teach me the business and everything. Like, and, even though I'm still learning under you and I'm still a newbie, like I've learned so much. It's crazy, like even, how to list on Etsy. Like I didn't even know that was a thing. I knew about Etsy, but I didn't know about Etsy for graphic designers. It's like things like that I never knew until I met you. So, and even, how to properly brand on Instagram. I remember, one of the things that you mentioned to me was like, your page is like a robot. I was like, oh gosh. But I know I needed to hear that because, with my previous coach, I don't know. I don't think I was getting that kind of feedback that I needed to like really shift my thinking. It was kind of, okay, just come out here and do it versus come out here and do it with a strategic plan, like how, you coached me to do it. So yeah, I'm definitely, enjoying this coaching program, and I think I am going to become addicted to it because like, I don't know, I've always wanted to have, to look up to someone and have them as a mentor, someone that already knows exactly what I want to do. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with YouTube University, but like for people like me who don't have the time, to be on YouTube like every single day, like 24 hours out of the day kind of thing, I kind of want, like a mentor, like, like someone that's already, they know the ins and outs. They know, okay, like I've already done this before and it didn't work, so don't do it, kind of thing. Versus if I was on YouTube, I would have to look at multiple videos to figure that out, and that's time consuming. It's like, if someone has already figured out the things that, work and don't work, why don't I just learn from them, So yeah, I really appreciate this.
Absolutely. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about when it comes to, just being a newbie and, having the coaching and stuff. What would you say if you were to compare what it was like by yourself and then, with a coach and stuff? What kind of differences are there that you've noticed for you?
Well, off gate by myself, I wasn't putting my work out there at all by myself because I was like still under that perfectionistic mindset. I was scared. I was fearful. I was like, okay, if I put this out, I don't know if someone's going to like it, and then they're going to comment on it and tell me, oh, I don't like this logo, and then I'm never going to post a logo again. So I guess like that's the main difference for me is like, if I would have stayed, I guess by myself technically without, having coaching, I don't think I would have ever been comfortable or confident to put myself out there in any kind of way, because I just would have been scared to take the first step, and it, someone wouldn't have liked it, and then I would have just quit altogether. So I think that's the main thing. It's like, I don't think I ever would have started, unfortunately, had I just been by myself, because I was always in a state of mind where, like I said, being a perfectionist, I don't know if I can do it 100% right the first time. So having a coach telling you, like, okay, you kind of have to fail in order to succeed, first of all, so I had to learn that. And, I don't think I would have, been able to talk to myself and been confident enough with that by myself. So I think that's like, one of the main benefits of having a coach versus being by myself. Like I always have, someone to ask questions and get immediate feedback. I don't have to sit around and second guess and like, okay, well, I don't know if this is going to work, or, things like that. So I would have to say, definitely coaching versus being by myself, because I don't think I would have started at all.
Yeah. It's funny because a lot of people think a coach is what you need when you, when you've established your business. And for me, in my opinion, I wish I would have had one in the beginning, because I would have hit, 6 figures so much faster if somebody was telling me, stop doing that. What are you doing? You're crazy. Because I am one of those people, I am a 100% negative self-talk person. I am like the hardest person on myself. And so, you need that person to be like, what are you doing? Why are you thinking that way? Just kind of like I've been with you too, right? And so, it's just one of those things that a lot of people, they push off because there's so many people, like what you said you experienced, who they're just in it for the money, and so people are so afraid I was afraid for years to jump into any kind of coaching, because I thought, oh my gosh, this is so gimmicky. Somebody's just gonna like take my money and then push me down this road and hope for the best, and I'm gonna be a guinea pig. And it's just so important to make sure that person has strategies, and figuring out if that person is where you want to be. And one of the things with being a designer is that, there's a lot, what do they say? There's like so many ways to skin a cat or whatever. Like, you got to pick the one who is good, who does what you want to do. So, for instance, you're talking about your previous coach who wanted you to sell these high-end packages, and oh my gosh, that stresses me out. Where I've actually never invested in a graphic design coach. My coach she's actually in beauty. Oh. And so we actually don't even connect on the graphic design level. It's actually on just the business level. And so what I learned, and her coach is a fitness coach. Oh, wow. And so what I learned is it's more about like those strategies, right, with social media and stuff. But what I found for me, like with graphic design coaches, a lot of them try and do what you're saying, where they think the dream is like 3 clients who are all paying you like 10 grand each or whatever. And for me, I already had a niche, and and that niche was not some people who are going to just drop 10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had a small business niche, just like you.
Right.
You're really pushing into the small business niche. So could you imagine how many people you'd have to get on the phone with and try and close them on opening up taking out a loan or something for their business? And, you know, and it's like, no, this is why I'm so like passionate about the DIY world and pre-made and all of that, because honestly, the truth is, just like you, like I said about you and why you are, you know, you're seeing results. It's because it's not about prepare, launch. As a small business owner, you just kind of, in our industry, you just kind of got to jump, you know? And so with the DIY, with the Etsy stuff, right? While some people have their opinions of it, I believe that it gets you in action mode. And so that's where you're going to start. It's not where you're going to end, right? The DIY logo, the DIY stuff isn't going to be where you end, but it gets you going instead of you feeling like it's out of your reach. And so that's why I'm passionate about, you know, DIY products and sales, and why there is a lucrative business out there for it. You know, so that being said, you know, so for girls who, because obviously you're not my niche, or, you know, your niche isn't my niche. So let's say a girl is listening who has a vegan cookie company. So tell her, go ahead and talk to this girl and tell her like where, you know, she can find you, what kind of stuff you offer for that type of a company, and just tell them where they can get to you, because they can't remember me.
Yeah. So yeah, I currently you know, post on my business page on Instagram. So it's Cosmic Aura Creative. So yeah, so I post everything there. So like I post you know, I try to post informational things from, you know, my future clients. Of course, logos, branding templates, yeah, things like that. And even, you know, if I don't have a client at the time, I'm always, you know, kind of doing a 2-for-1 kind of deal. Whereas like, I'll create like a faux client, and like I'll make, you know, a brand template, or, you know, a branding package for that client. And that, you know, that way at the same time, that helps other people who see me say, oh, okay, well, I like her work. She clearly knows how to do X, Y, Z. So let me work with her. And at the same time, I'm owning and bettering my graphic design skills too, you know? So it's like, you know, I'm not just sitting around waiting for, you know, actual work sometimes where I don't get it. So it's like, you know, I'm still preparing myself, you know, always. So trying to, you know, design certain things and everything like that. So yeah, whether it's, you know, for vegan products or foods, or natural nail artists or things like that, just, you know, anything that's in my niche, I just try to, you know, find a way to create it so that it can, you know, manifest itself on my page and for my clients.
Absolutely. And so, you know, doing what you do, even though you're newer, you've done excellent for the people who have worked with you. You've even gotten video testimonials, which is just phenomenal.
Yes.
You know, so it's clear that you care about your clients, and that you know, you know what's so funny is I actually say to people that even for me, I like people who are in the earlier stages of their business, because they're not running through the motions. They still really care about their clients. It's not so much about the numbers. And so I would say that's a really big like strength of yours, is that the fact that you care so much about making your clients happy. You know, especially at the stage that you're in. And so that's a big plus for working with Tashana. And so, yes, so that being said, I will get this all closed out. So, again, for those of you who want to follow Tashana or work with her, find her on IG. She is Cosmic Aura Creative. I will definitely link this as well in the details below. And do not forget to please follow us, you know, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, or iTunes, whatever you want to call it, all of those bad boys. That's where we're at. And again, if you're interested too in her digital design mastery, there will be a link below for you to apply so that you can also be hanging out with me and Tashana
Yes.
in our groups every week. But yes, that being said, I will get this all closed out. Thank you, Tashana, so
No
much for
problem.
spending some time with me today. And yes, we will see you on our next one. Hopefully, then, a couple times, a little bit down the road when you've got some more going on, you can tell us some updates.
Yes, I'm definitely looking forward. And thank you for having me as well.
Absolutely. Okay, well, have a super great rest of your night. And all you guys, again, don't forget to subscribe to us. We'll talk to you soon.